Hi, everybody. Back again. It's Ben. As you see, I trimmed my beard and cleaned things up a little bit. I actually had a meeting with work yesterday. I've been out on some medical leave, but I did a little advising for them yesterday, so that was awesome. It was really great to reconnect with Sean and Darren, the brothers who own the coffee company that I do some now consulting for. Basically, like I said, I'm on medical leave, so. Anyway, enough about my backstory. I was thinking about a little football today. Hope it's okay to talk some football. So the Chiefs and Jaguars game, I just want to, circle back to it. And the thing, the piece obviously the media is talking about is, flags, not flags. They've talked about it, touchdowns, not touchdowns, things of that nature. And I basically figured rather than focusing just on the specifics of that game is more the officiating on a whole and then how it ties into the NFL and the fact that the NFL now has financial interest in sports betting. Um, it's really wild to me that when you think about the fact that like they can literally have images, it seems like from space or like the moon almost that can, show what a birthmark looks like on somebody's nose from space. But somehow on an NFL field where there are literally billions of dollars of certainty that are sort of being passed around in the nature of this game, not only on the, the contracts there, the outcome of the game, but the bigger piece is now the sports gambling, the amount of money that's being bet on these games, and the fact that you now have these apps. And when you're watching the game, the networks and the NFL itself is advertising to you, say, go on to this app or that app, gamble your hard-earned money, you just might win. Well, okay, great. That's fine to advertise that. But the fact that what you have is still this situation where something goes down and somehow today in 2025 with all the money that they're making and all the money that's generated and invested in this, they somehow can't get a shot right down the line. They can't quite tell where somebody might be. uh you know why is that? To me, it does not, like, okay, we can say, okay, this is just accidental, maybe, but it's pretty hard to say that. And, the fact that you still have guys out there, people, refs and whatnot on the field, sort of making calls and judgment calls and making state, okay, fine. But there should be, in any situation, any significant call or penalty that is or is not made when a play goes down, there just should be, or even almost honest at this point, any play, there just should be an automatic instant review. Like, there just should be a review, and they should decide what needs to go on there. But the other piece of it is, regardless of that, there is no reason why there shouldn't be camera angles from all of the appropriate angles of every play that is going down. And then that should be backed up by a digital assist, every play that's going on, so they can tell exactly where the ball is, who has it, what is the angle, what is going on here, including overhead. And the other piece, there should be a sensor inside the ball. Like, why would there not be? This whole thing about when they were going to do the digital reviews and then it would take forever. It was absolutely absurd, and it made it look even less authentic than the chain gangs did, which has already left a lot of room for questions and interpretation. And again, like the goal line thing, the piece with let's now talk about, say, the Chiefs-Jags game. One of the big ones for me was just that piece with and then also the Arizona game when Mercado had that, what they call the fumble, where he had it in the goal line, but it looked like he was in, even though the ball was whatever, he clearly was across the goal line. The same thing with Trevor Lawrence. It seemed to me that the tip of that ball, like, yes, there was a touch, but it seemed like it was still in his hand and broke the plane of the goal. And you should very easily be able to determine that. There should be a down the line looking, there should be one overhead. There should be a sensor in the ball, but even without a sensor in the ball, they should digitally be able to take that goal line and, rather than being at the ground, project it up vertically so that they can digitally see where is this relative to that. There is no reason why they can't. My saying all these things, and the reason I, made all these loud, fast pontificating statements is to say that it seems that those that have interest in sports gambling like the fact that there's an element of mystery here, which to me makes it seem like it creates an opportunity for people to kind of gum up what's going on. Because my big thing with the Jags and the Chiefs, the big talking point has been, and again, I was there with it, last year, this 15-1, but it was all these crazy suspect calls. I mean, let's not forget about that awful Buffalo call where Josh Allen was clearly at least 12 inches past the marker. It was obviously a first down. It was clearly a first down. And then somehow they just gave it to Chiefs anyway. Sure, seemed pretty suspect. We can say it's human, whatever, bad angles, whatever, but that shouldn't even be possible. And then in this game, again, that same thought is, oh, geez, the refs are trying to give it to the Chiefs. I can see where that could come up. There were some suspect no calls, other things going on. But to me, I think there's less that sure is maybe whatever based on narratives and whatever. But I think it has a lot more to do with what the spread was. In that game, there was a 3.5-point spread. And if not for the meddling of the refs, the game would not have finished with a 3-point difference. And because the Jags, there was easily a 14 to 21 point swing that should have happened in the Jags' favor. But if that occurred, all that money that got bet on the Jags was then going to get paid off, as opposed to it falling, where it was a 3.5-point spread. By it falling at 3, there was all these bets that were not going to fall through. And the ones that were going to get paid were at a much lesser amount because the Chiefs were favored. To me, it's very suspect. And again, whether it is intentional or not, my point is, in this day and age, with the money that they have and the ability, if they want to suggest there is any integrity in what it is that they're doing, there should be real accountability. There should be angles that you can definitely see. And again, the ball should have a sensor in it. It should be simple. There was no reason why, even if it's just say in the center of the ball, it's in the center, it can determine what, here's the tip of the ball, here's the angles. It can determine its distance from those points relative to where it is. It can also tell directionally. So when the play is going on, you know where the ball is. You're not asking for these humans to make a judgment call. And the reason why it wouldn't be a problem if it was still 1950 and sports gambling was not a thing. Sure, human error can be an element in it. But when you literally have billions of dollars and the ability for this whole thing to be gamed and to work in people's interest, and with the general nature of, gambling has a real history of being somewhat corrupt. And so sports, and broadcasting, and stadiums, and in general, look at the history of the sports, the soccer stadiums in the world, and let's just go line and line and line and line. There's a lot of interesting money that gets washed through those places. These cash businesses. Imagine that. But again, whatever. That's to other people. Whatever. It's other people's ethics. That's my point is that at the end of all of this, the reason I say it is to say, my friends out there, be cautious before you allow yourself to get sucked into this orgy of you figuring out how to lose your own money to places and organizations and businesses and corporations that are already worth billions and trillions of dollars. Please think twice, because their system seems quite corrupt, and it seems very designed in order to have you end up disenfranchised, broke, and desperate. Because when you're in that place, it is very easy to take control of you. It is very easy to be manipulated. It is very easy to get on what people call on tilt. People talk about people sports betting. You think you're on a run. You're great. Oh, you get a bad miss. Oh, I'll get it. And then you get to this point where you're like, I don't care. I'm going to just win. And you'll take any action. And that's literally the place they want everybody to live. And I don't just mean in gambling. It seems like culturally, seem like people are kind of on tilt on there a little bit on tilt, maybe. I don't know. But I think it's possible they could be. And I know that there's a lot of media and things talking about how we ourselves maybe shouldn't feel as good about ourselves. We should judge ourselves. We should find a way to feel worse. Look around and see how everybody else has it better. And then somehow, through that guilt, that association of feeling less than, from that place, we should then go make life decisions. Please, my friends, don't feel guilty. You are doing the best you can. You really are. And the thing is, too, is like, you know why this world is so interesting? Is because you're in it too. You unique individual, you unique, wonderful, singular being who's exactly the way you are. Like, you make it better. And yeah, I know, and again, I know I'm talking sports. Like, I know it's really exciting because I like it too. I just like me, it's more, I don't like the business around it. I don't like the inherent slave market nature of how this is all built and just the blatant just insanity of what football is and all that disgustingness. But again, that's everywhere. Look at our whole culture. It's all based around the rich taking advantage of the poor and then using built-in basically triggers, almost like Manchurian candidate words, but built into our own language. So they teach us to like be racist and fight with each other. So they keep all of us at the bottom, like fighting with each other. And oh my God, it's all them, not like the billionaires at the top who are screwing us all over, you know? Anyway, my point is, I'm sorry about all of that. I attempt as I can to try to stay into a more positive space, speak from a positive voice. My point is that it is really exciting to watch a chess match of a football game and sort of how these pieces go together. And it's really cool. I really think it's interesting. But the thing that's even, to me, is even more is respecting the time and energy and effort it takes for these men to get out on that field and perform at that level. To me, that's amazing, the exemplary nature of what they're doing. But I just want to say that you, like me, though we may exalt their ability and the work that they put in to be who and what they are, you have also put the work in to be who and what you are. And guess what? If someone took the time to view you, they'd probably be just as amazed, because I bet you you're just as incredible. And I'm stoked to share this planet with you. And I hope you feel the same about me. I have my shortcomings and I've made a lot of mistakes, but I promise you, I'm working to make it better and, be somebody worth spending time around. So, every day we're just trying to do our part. And I think if we all just kind of look out for each other, those of us at the bottom, that are sort of down here, I got you. If you got me, right? Who needs them? Screw them. Let's just forget about them. Let's stop talking about them. Let's let them go have whatever awful, islands or palaces or whatever it is that they need to meet and go be in and whatever, okay, we'll just make it wonderful. Okay. Love you guys. Back talk more football again at some point without so much, other stuff. Love you guys.